We are live. Are we live? Hello, guys. It's doing a light thing. I need to buy a new microphone. I only ever think about it at 7 p.m. Central Time on Sundays.
Golly, why is it like that? So bad.
Hey, guys. What is up?
I can't even do that.
He's going to go fix the lights. We do this every single week and do not think about the fact that we need to buy a microphone and a camera until we go live again. All our children are coming in. How's everybody doing? Hello, Colby from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Wallace. I'm assuming because it's Wallace Beehives that that's your last name, but Wallace is my dad's first name. Hello. Yukon, Canada, Georgia, Virginia, North Carolina, Southern California, Australia. Are you up late or up early? I guess you would be. It's tomorrow. It's my tomorrow morning there in Australia. Some of our very dear friends from our Australia. Oh, Amy. Amy said she picked up her phone to text you about the goats and saw that it was live time. So we have these two little Nigerian dwarf goats. This is innovative. What are we doing here? A little box. Block the light. Okay. Well, it worked, sort of. A little bit. One of them. You've got to block it with your head.
I don't want to block it with my head. Look, I'm not even on the screen.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, we need to deal with this, not live in front of a bunch of people. We do this every single week. Last week, we set up that ring light. I don't know that it helped. It was really bright. Anna, I'm so glad to have you here with us on your second live. Okay, we can do that. You go for it.
I'm trying.
It's so refreshing to watch you and take our mind off our situation. We were level 3 and had to evacuate. Oh, I'm so sorry, Stephanie. I'm praying for you guys. I can't believe these fires. I've been seeing all the pictures. And it just looks so apocalyptic, and I cannot imagine how frightening that must be. I'm going to try this. Thank you guys for hanging with us here while we try to figure this stuff out. Wallace is my last name. Okay, cool. Thanks to you, I won the hive tool from the Honeystead's live. Cool. That's awesome. We love the Honeystead around here. She has definitely helped us a lot with beekeeping. Jeremiah calls her frequently to get advice. I think it's okay. I think just nope. He's bothered, guys. Oh, there we go. You did it. Well done, sweet Miah.
Okay, there you go.
Now we can go live. I actually have a video of the salsa recipe, and his version of that has been to just add some different peppers. So if you find my salsa recipe video, that's pretty much what we've been doing. Yeah, it's Harper Sheet. I think that if we got a different camera, it would probably be better.
Maybe. This camera always did fine before. Then we upgraded
Tammy Gear, I'm thinking about you. I just so much craziness going on. Hey, Big Bear Homestead, North Star Prep Stutter. I'm so glad. I've had so much positive feedback about my salsa, which makes me really, really proud because that is a recipe that I made myself. You know, I got a lot of recipes. What's up, Deep South? Hey, Deep South Homestead. How are you guys? Y'all got a storm coming up that way, do you not? Oh, well, welcome, Jesse's Enlightenment. I'm glad to have you here with us. Country Homestead Preacher, how are you? Wow, we got lots of our friends on here tonight. Thank you, Debbie. If you guys are new here or just a reminder, make sure that you put your questions in all caps. We like to be able to answer questions as much as possible during these. Of course, we don't get to everything. The chat moves pretty fast, but we definitely want to answer your questions. So if you have any questions for us, put them in all caps. What are you most looking forward to planting next year? That's a great question, Erin. I think probably what I'm looking forward to next year is knowing how to use my high tunnel well. And so planting the high tunnel stuff, I'm going to do, like, I love tomatoes. I love planting tomatoes, but I'm going to try determinate tomatoes more in the high tunnel next year and plant them a little later. So that's kind of interesting. Definitely praying for the Gulf Coast. I saw Deep South Homesteads post earlier on Facebook about the fact that they were kind of like battening down for the storm. Oh, yes, Michaela Partridge. Definitely love sunflowers. What breed of meat chickens do you raise?
Our first round was just a regular Cornish cross, and now we've got 35 ginger. I think they're called ginger something.
Ginger broilers.
Ginger broilers, which is a new breed that Murray
McMurray
has that is very interesting. We're trying them out, and I'm going to give you guys my 2 cents on it when we're done.
The idea is possibly like a new, like
Red
more
Ranger replacement, more
Yeah.
sustainable. And the big thing that they are talking about is that the roosters and the hens grow out to the same size. So you don't have bigger roosters and then smaller hens. You get about the same size from
Which
both.
is good for a sustainable bird, because if you're going to hatch them out yourself, then you're going to end up with
And as far as their reproductive sustainability cycle, it's similar to a Red Ranger.
Someone asked what the best zinnia is. There are so many that it's kind of hard for me to say one. They're just, the variety of them is great, but I really love the Queen Lime line, which is about 4 different colors, I think. My friend Matthew posted a picture and shared it this week of like the most beautiful zinnia blossom I think I've ever seen, and it was Queen Lime. But there are so many pretty ones. I love zinnias. Thank you, Donna. She said that salsa is out of this world. I haven't vlogged the cowboy candy recipe because I made it, and then I decided to try to freeze dry it, and it exploded, because apparently you're not supposed to freeze dry things with really high sugar content, like that are like, and I used honey and sugar. And I mean, it turned into like this puffy foam. It stuck all to the roof of the freeze dryer. It was rough. It would have been funny if we had vlogged that, but I didn't. But I'm actually going to make some more. I have a lot more jalapenos, and I will vlog that. How do you find the energy? Well, that's a really good question. We do a lot of stuff, but honestly, it's what we really desire to do. It's what we love to do. And we do take we take our rest time, whenever it's needed, and we don't get everything done, and that's okay. There are some things that I can see that we wish we did better, but, we're just in process, and we do the best that we can with what we have at all times. So I saw a question I wanted to answer, and I can't remember. How are the new goats? Well, tomorrow's vlog is all about them, so you'll get to see them and meet them. Okay, Co, what am I doing wrong? I started seeds, they germinate and grow a few inches and stop. My first guess would be that your soil is too dense, so I don't know what you're starting in, but maybe not, like, if they're in like garden soil, that's probably too heavy. You probably need to move them over to something that's like potting soil. That happened to me once. Have you considered building a root cellar?
Yes.
Definitely. We probably won't at this property.
Yeah.
Our ground is completely, it's like rock and clay, and there's water underneath it. And so it's not great here for that. And we know we're not going to stay here forever. So we're not going to be doing anything like that. Advice on anxiety. Wade's backyard farm journey. I dealt with anxiety for a really long time. For me, the solution to that came 100% in devotion becoming a regular part of my life, prayer, quiet time, really learning what God says. That has been a big thing. And also like genuinely taking care of myself. And I don't mean necessarily like self-care in the case of like, hey, make sure that, like I take my time to drink a glass of wine or eat a piece of chocolate cake or take time off. Like I think treat yourself stuff is great. I had a treat yourself weekend last weekend that Sweet Miah planned for me. But like when I say take care of yourself, I mean like don't go all day without eating. Don't stay up until 2:00 in the morning every night, like scrolling social media. Eat and sleep and fuel your body and shower regularly. And I mean, I know this sounds like menial, but like genuinely having good habits to care for your physical body and your emotional stance, it goes a very, very long way in dealing with anxiety. I still have a touch of anxiety here and there. It tries to creep back up, but I notice that it comes back significantly whenever I'm not prioritizing devotion and I'm not taking care of my physical body the way that I should. So I've not added it up, Sherry. That's something I need to do this week. I'll put it on a blog this week. The total for the tomatoes and the high top.
Someone's asking about their Kajarli melons didn't do anything. Any idea why? I don't think ours did very well this year either.
Ours got sick, is why ours didn't do very well. We got like a couple of them. I'm not sure. I don't really know. I had a few people tell me that they had issues with theirs this year. Mine have never done as poorly as they did this year.
That's true.
So I'm not really sure. Maybe, I don't know, like pollinators can come up. I had a lot of people tell me they were tiny, so I'm kind of wondering if it was a seed issue maybe. I'm not really sure. My favorite crop to grow, tomatoes. Although I'm really loving peppers this year.
Well, we're doing well with peppers.
Honestly, like anytime something does really well, I'm like, I love growing this. Potatoes were fun.
Wedded Life, do you have a go-to quiche recipe? We do. It's actually on our site.
Yeah, it's on rootsandrefuge.com is my quiche recipe. It's super basic. Like in a pie crust, it's 4 or 5 eggs, depending on how deep your pie crust is, and like a cup of either heavy cream, half and half, or milk. You can use all of those. Obviously, it's a little more like tasty with a heavy.
Someone's asking what kind of freeze dryer. We got the Harvest Right large with a Premier pump.
Premium pump, yeah.
Premium pump. Was it hard to set up? It wasn't necessarily hard to set up, but you definitely needed to pay attention to the checklist of things they said to check and make sure you're doing it right, because it's a vacuum thing, so it can be dangerous if you're careless.
Is there a crop you've ever regretted planting? That's a good question, Angelina. I don't think so. You know, the garden rolls over so quickly that after you've gardened for a few years, like truly from one season to the next, I truly have really embraced that whole like, there's always next year. And so there have been some things that I'm like, I did not like this. But I remember like my first year having a big garden, being like devastated when something didn't work or when it got sick early. I had, like being really upset about it. Whereas now I'm just kind of like, whatever. So no, I don't think I've ever regretted planting anything. There have been some things I didn't really care for. What are the little cucumbers that have all the little pokey things on them that turn? What are they called? Does anyone help me out, y'all? They're like cucumbers and they have these little pokey spears on them. They're called something melons, jelly melons. It's not the lemon cucumbers. I think jelly melons is what they're called, but they're like, there's another name for them that I can't think of. But I didn't like those at all. I haven't planted them again. Kawano melon. Thank you. That's what it is. Thank you, Sarah. But I didn't regret planting it because I feel like you learn. Great storage crops. I'm definitely loving sweet potatoes. Winter squashes are really awesome. And then we do, we can, but like as far as like actual storage crops, sweet potatoes, and some winter squashes. No, Kaylee, we don't use a special soap to clean chicken eggs. Honestly, mostly what we do, unless they're really dirty, I usually don't do soap. I usually just wash them off with water. If they're really dirty, I might put some soap on them, but I usually don't. Yeah, the Kawano was not my favorite growing branches. I didn't love it. Okay. What is an organic spray to get rid of pests that won't harm the plants, animals, or environment? Also, how do I get rid of fungus that has grown on my squash and cantaloupe plant leaves and stems? Well, for the fungus, you can do some different things. You make like a baking soda spray. Neem oil can help with fungus sometimes. The problem is a lot of the pesticides that are organic, they will actually still damage pollinator pollinators that are like beneficial insects. BT is one that it only affects caterpillars. So like you can spray that on like your brassicas and stuff and get rid of the cabbage loopers and the things that tear that up, and it won't hurt beneficials. Dr. Zymes is one. I saw somebody talk about that. That's a good one. But I would say that would probably be where I would go. It depends on what pest it is you're dealing with. There's probably not going to be a blanket one for everything. There are a few you can go to. Random freeze. Can I save my plants, or is my season done? Has it already happened, Elena? If it's already happened and they froze and they were frost tender plants, they're probably gone. I'm sorry. Sometimes if it's a very, very mild frost and you've got a plant, it might sustain some damage, but the bulk of the plant will be okay, and you can trim off the dead parts and it'll continue to grow. In the future, if you ever have a freeze that you were not expecting, if you get out in the morning before the sun rises and you water your plants, it can help transition. Because basically, whenever a frost tender plant freezes, what happens is the cell walls explode because they cannot transition from frozen to unfrozen without, like, think of a Coke can in the freezer. Like, it can't handle it. So you lose the Coke can because it explodes. And it's the same thing with the cellular walls of a plant. And so if you go and water them before the sun hits them, it can actually warm them up enough that they don't die. But if it's already happened, then you've obviously missed that opportunity. Do you amend soil before fall plants? I've always put compost on. This year I'm trying some different things like blood meal and some different fertilizers just to see. But yes, I usually do. Yeah, I have heard about the random snowstorm and freeze in Colorado like a month early, and I'm so sorry about that. That just breaks my heart. I literally, like, I hurt for you when I see that. And all the people that are having to leave their gardens with the fires. I know obviously your main concern is your home and your main concern is all of that, but I know that leaving your garden is not easy to do, and I'm just so sorry that so many people are having to go through that. Did you move your camera? I can only see Miah. Is anybody else having that issue? Because I can still see myself in the picture.
I can see you.
Amy, the asthma-friendly sunflowers from Haas, can you save those seeds or you buy new? They're F1 hybrids, so I am assuming they need to be bought new to have the same effect. I'm going to try to save some of the seeds from the hybrid cutting sunflowers that are in my beds right now just to see what happens, but I don't think that it'll produce the same thing because an F1 hybrid is just going to be a grab bag of genetics. Yep, the kids have started school, Funny Cat. We've been doing school for the last couple of weeks. Do you refrigerate your eggs? No, not unless they've been washed. If we get one in that's like really dirty, we'll go ahead and wash it, and that one will need to go in the fridge. But most of them we just leave out on the counter. They're good on the counter for a few weeks, especially when it's not hot outside. When it's hot outside and the house is a little warmer, they might not last quite as long. But if it's cool outside, they'll last for a while on the counter. Will my bell peppers turn from green to red off the vine? Yeah, they will, but they might like wrinkle up a little bit. They don't quite have the right texture. So it's not quite like tomatoes. When tomatoes blush, you can pull them off and then they'll ripen just the same off the vine. But with bell peppers, they do some, but they don't quite have the juiciness that if you let them ripen on the vine. I've never done that to slugs, expert of sound. We don't really have a lot of slugs, so that's not something I really had to deal with. What do you do to help molting chickens? Just make sure they're getting enough protein.
Oh, man.
You're sleepy. You're
I should have had a
yawning.
cup of coffee instead.
Tea has caffeine. Did you drink it all?
It did. It's so good, but I don't think it's going to do
Oh,
good.
that tea doesn't have caffeine. He has a new tea, love. But hey, now you're yawning like crazy. Oh, I'm so glad, Jessica March. How big is your high tunnel? 24 by 60. Is that right? 24 by 60. Okay, so if you're looking to attract pollinators, Susan Bass, I mean, just really any flowers like zinnias, calendula is a really good one. Holy basil brings in pollinators. You're just trying to create an atmosphere and like an ecosystem that they're going to be able to come in and get what they need, which is pollen. So pickle worm problem, I would do BT. The way that BT kills bugs is that it actually breaks down the lining of their stomachs, and so they have to eat it for them to die. So what you need to do, you don't spray the BT like on the caterpillar or on the worm. You want to spray it on the plant, on the top and the bottom, like in the mornings whenever the caterpillars are eating on it. And so when they consume that, it will kill them. So I would do BT. For any sort of caterpillar or worm, that's what you're looking at is BT. How long do you water for with your drip irrigation in the high tunnel? Third time around ranch. Well, I'm actually having some issues with that. We're trying to troubleshoot it because I'll put it on for like 4 hours, but because it's raised beds and the soil is so loose, the water just runs straight down and hits the ground. And so it gets wet right where the drip is, but like right off, a few inches away from that is bone dry. And so we're actually looking for another solution in there right now. But normally with drip irrigation, I do it for like some hours, probably like 4. And whenever the drip tape is on top of like straw or something, or the soil isn't quite so loose, it spreads out and that works well. He's giving something. Yeah, I don't know what to do about it. I don't know. Ben Turn and I were talking about it yesterday, and I think that we're going to try something that maybe sprays. Obviously, we don't want anything spraying on like tomatoes or things that are going to get fungus, but right now it's brassicas. So that's what we're looking at. I don't know. I'm trying to figure that out. What is our favorite food? Sweet Miah, what's your favorite food? What would you call your favorite food? I know what your favorite foods are, but what would you say your favorite food?
I don't know. I'm an equal opportunity to eat everything.
I don't think I have a favorite food either. I love hollandaise sauce. That's random, but I really love it. Makes me happy. I love tomatoes, obviously. I love melons. Just any kind of melon.
You've already ruined the question.
Yeah.
Said, what's your favorite kind of food? So yeah, I don't think that's an answerable question for me. I love all kinds of stuff. Honestly, surprisingly, I do not like cheesecake as much as people think I do. I think cheesecake is good. But I mean, literally.
You did make a really big deal about the cheesecake.
Right. But I think it was misleading. Nana or Bobby?
Oh, is it?
She's going in the kitchen.
Oh, okay. I thought y'all were back.
She's sneaky. Yeah. She knows what we're doing.
Steak or beef jerky, heirloom permaculture. I do love a good steak.
Probably smoked salmon.
Sweet Miah. Oh yeah, smoked salmon's good. Multiple people have asked about your handiness and carpentry and if you are self-taught. Thank you, Amy.
Not completely self-taught, no. I had some basic instruction while I was in the Marines. Well, because after I had my first surgery, I couldn't do all the Marine Corps normal, deploy and all that stuff. So my job, part of my job was construction. So they put me in what's called the construction shop, and I got mentored and taught some stuff. But I mean, honestly, a lot of it is self-taught. Figuring things out, watching videos, trying things, failing at them, doing them better the next time.
Aaron, I'm so glad you like the sweet potato hash. You guys are making me feel really good when you tell me that you cook these things that I tell you about and that you like them. I can't really take credit for that recipe. It's all over Pinterest. I've been making that for years, and it's really, I don't know.
Well, the strawberries, I guess it depends on how you take care of them through the winter. I think it depends on where you live.
We don't have to do
bars
anything
outside, and they come back just fine.
The plants don't die at all in the winter here.
Yeah, so it really depends on where you're at. Your next book should be a cookbook.
It might be. I'm actually. I think I'm allowed to say this because I haven't signed anything. I'm actually talking with my editor in the morning about
the next book.
So that's kind of cool. I won't be writing. I'm actually writing another book. I'll tell you guys this. I'm writing a book that's a devotional book, but I'm not going to sign a contract on it until it's done, like with a publisher or anything like that. I don't know exactly what I'll do with it, but I just am not I don't want to write that one under contract. I don't want any pressure. If it takes me 3 years to write it, I just want to have the freedom to do that.
Oh, Carly, you know that tomatoes are not my favorite. Silly.
Oh, I'm so glad that you like the quiche recipe, Coraline. Quiche is like our go-to easy meal here because eggs, you always got them, and so you don't have to defrost anything. Might get the painting.
What painting?
I think the answer is no. So if it's something that's in,
probably need to check the PO box.
Yeah. Is the tape used in the Dura tool used? The tape that I use to tie tomatoes, it breaks down pretty well by the end of the season. And so usually whenever you go like to take the tomato plants off, you just tear them and it breaks off.
What's my new tea, love? Oh, man.
You want to go get the cans so you can show people? He made this. Like, we've had the cans for a little while. I want to say that we got them before we remodeled the kitchen and they got packed up with like the stuff that got packed up.
Okay.
And he made it last night. I'm serious. He sits down and he goes, oh my goodness. Like, he was like having a moment over this tea. And so Daniel gets up and goes and makes a cup of this tea. And they both were like, you got to try this. So Miah went and made me a cup of this tea. And I thought it was pretty good, but they were both like, okay, Harney and Sons Hot Cinnamon Sunset. Black tea with warming spices.
Oh, it's good.
It tastes like a Red Hot, but it's tea. It's like really cinnamony.
It's good.
Thank you, Quebec Homestead. I appreciate that. Quebec Homestead's in my hair. Looks amazing.
It is amazing.
Oh, thanks. I really appreciate that. Sorry, I didn't do anything to it. Okay. That's a great question, Lisa. When saving seeds, does it matter the health or the size of the fruit? Yes. It is ideally best to save seeds out of your biggest or your nicest, healthiest fruit. Like, save the seeds of the fruit that you want to reproduce. Now, the exception is, like, let's say a worm gets into it or something, and so the fruit has been damaged by something. You can save seeds from the undamaged part of the plant, or the fruit. That would be okay. However, if it's like sick or like blighty or whatever, I don't like to save seeds off of those.
Oh, that's pretty funny. The land of milk.
Oh, that is funny. I didn't even think about that.
Because he picked up a goat in milk and we harvested some honey.
We've not talked about it yet. I went
the honey's good.
The honey's good. We harvested about 10 pounds. We actually went in to our friend's store before. I'm a little bit nervous about this because so many people completely you just get so crucified when you do social media. We went into our friend's store when we were the only people there. So I shot this video, and afterwards I started thinking, I'm going to get so many ugly comments about the fact that we weren't wearing masks, even though we were the only people in the store. But never mind. We'll just leave that there. I started getting nervous about it. But we did shoot a video at our friend's store.
In the back.
And they allowed us to use their kitchen. And we got about 10 pounds of honey, which is not very much. But it was our first year. And Jeremiah was very, very conservative in what he chose to take. So he decided to leave most of it because we wanted our bees to get through the winter. And then next year, we're really hoping to harvest quite a lot of honey. And then he bought a big bucket of honey from our friends,
I'm gonna
local honey.
A lot of honey.
Yeah.
What's my favorite thing about living in Arkansas? The scenery, the lack of involvement, and the government getting into our business.
You're pretty freedom in homeschool and ordinances.
I'm not anti-government. But I am manage yourself. And so we don't have code enforcement. And it's a blessing. It can also be a curse. But for someone like me, it's a blessing because I don't have to pay a bunch of money to have someone come out and tell me that I'm doing it right. I was going to do it right anyways. You see what I'm saying? Whereas my friend Ethan is remodeling his house in the middle of nowhere, and he literally is paying as much for permits and inspectors as he was to get the materials to do the job. And it's like, I don't have that. Homeschool is
super easy.
Super easy.
They're not real involved.
And honestly, there's a lot of programs, like the high tunnel programs that help support this kind of stuff.
That's NRCS. NRCS is national, but Arkansas doesn't have a large population.
Right. So pretty much always get approved.
Right. So here's what's crazy. Like whenever we visited San Francisco for the Seed Expo, I was explaining to someone, they were like, oh, how do you like it here? I'm like, it's really overwhelming. And they're like, what do you mean? The population of the city of San Francisco is more than the population of the state of Arkansas. So like, I mean, we have cities, but they're nothing compared to that. So it's just not a lot of people here. So I like that about Arkansas. I like the fact that it's not a ton of people. I like the weather. It's hot here in the summer, but we have pretty mild winters, but we still have a winter. It snows sometimes, not like regularly. But I like the weather here. I grew up with it. So yes. I like Arkansas. Thank you, being a mom, so much for that super chat.
We have visited the Clinton Library, primarily. I mean, if we're being real honest, like I've never really toured the area.
I have. They get really cool.
We go to the
displays in there, like the Dr. Seuss.
I just go to the restaurant. The restaurant's pretty good. That's about it.
They have a restaurant in the basement of the Clinton Library. It's called 42, and they use lots of local ingredients. It's one of my favorite places to go out to eat. It's so good. And you can go there for lunch, and literally you can go eat lunch there for like $10 to $12 for a plate of food. And it's like all local meat, like they grow a lot of the stuff there, and they source
good places to
farms.
Get land anywhere north of Little Rock, all the way up to the Missouri line, up into Northwest Arkansas. That's where I would suggest. Land's cheap. You can buy lots of it, and lots of options, lots of good stuff. Timber, rivers, lakes, ponds. Arkansas is pretty nice. I mean, here's the other thing. My brother works in construction. He has his own construction company building houses, and right now the housing market in Arkansas is exploding because there are thousands of people moving here from East Coast, West Coast states, just because after everything happened, like people are getting out of heavy populated areas. And so I'm telling you, like, houses are selling, and they're selling quick, and they're selling for a lot more than what they were selling for 6 months ago, because there's a ton of people moving to Arkansas right now.
Yeah, we have a lot of people.
It's a pretty good state for what we do.
Acknowledge this. Thank you, Jennifer Kersey, so much for that super chat. Thank you. Yes, my mom. Hey, Mom. She said, I love Arkansas, the natural state. It is the natural state for a reason.
Your mom always has facts to spit out.
Yep. Did you know it was called the Wonder State until, I think, the 80s is when it changed to the natural state? Carla, I'm making chili powder this year. I'm making some cayenne powder, and then I'm also making chili powder out of ancho peppers, poblano peppers.
When are we bringing the goats? We want spring kids.
So now we have those in with Bucks now.
We had those in with Thorn, but he isn't about that life. So
yeah, so we're getting a new Buck. Actually,
I think I'm gonna grab 2.
Really?
Yeah.
Just like going for it.
Well, I don't want to get another one who's a dud. I'll have 2 duds hanging out.
Bless them.
We
do need to get babies going.
We do, especially the freaking herd we just got. It's all Nubians.
Jessica Wilson. Yes, my maiden name is Wilson. So I was Jessica Wilson for the first half of my life. I got married when I was really young. So I am almost to the point that I have been not Jessica Wilson as long as I was Jessica Wilson. So,
am I a football fan? I like the game of football. If you're asking me if like I'm a fan of like the NFL and all that, not really.
When I first met Sweet Miah, he like if the Oklahoma game went in a direction that was bad, it ruined his day. But he's not like that anymore. What was your first major project you did when you started homesteading? What were some of your beginner struggles? Desert Rose, thank you for the super chat. First major project. Well, okay. Let me lay a little bit of a foundation for you on how our farm went.
Here we go.
When it started. I was incredibly.
I make a shot of espresso and just drink it straight.
When I was very eager to homestead. Sweet Miah, on the other hand, was slightly reluctant.
That's a sweet way of putting it. I was
So
eager.
I brought home, we'd been here for 3 months, and I brought home a cardboard box with 31 chicks in it. We didn't even have a light. Like, we had nothing. And so, yeah, that was
Project one.
Yeah, that was project one. Was
Keep
dealing
chicks-
with that.
keep
And so
chickens
probably
alive.
for like the first year and a half of homesteading, it was all the projects were like keep up with the crap that I brought home. Now we have an agreement. I actually don't acquire animals anymore. We got these goats yesterday because Miah is actually the one that was like, hey, let's get some more goats. And I found them and it just worked out. I told you all this story in the vlog tomorrow. So. Oh, your grandfather's last name was Wilson. I don't think we had a Danny Wilson in our family. My mom might could tell me she's on here, but I don't think so. Would you ever get a peacock? I would like to have peacocks, but I probably won't have peacocks on this property. So we live next to a busy road, or it's not a busy road. It's a country road that people drive really fast on. Yes, Savia, that would be a really good video. Would you consider doing a review on what you would not grow again and what you grew the first time and will grow again? Yes, I will update that and do a new video. I'm a little bit like, I will do that video. The reason I have not done a ton of content like that this fall is because I know that seed stock is limited in a lot of places and it's going to be limited. And what is happening when I talk about specific varieties is people search for those varieties and then they can't find them available. So they ask me to sell them to them. And I'm getting something like 150 requests to sell seeds to people a week. And I can't keep up with that. And I mean, I don't even have that many seeds to sell. So that's why I have not been talking a lot about different varieties. So, but I will do that video because I think it would be beneficial. Hey, Lauren, could you do a video all about your poultry? Yeah, we could do a poultry video. We're getting our stuff settled and like.
Do I follow ice hockey? Not really. I love watching ice hockey in person. It's my favorite sport I've ever seen.
Really?
In person.
I didn't even know that about you.
Look, I love basketball, but I actually would rather play basketball than watch basketball. Do you like it because
people hit each other?
No, it's just fast paced.
Oh.
It's just intense, and then they hit each other.
Somebody asked how Daniel's doing. He's doing really well. He visited us this weekend. He was in the vlog briefly the other day. But yeah, he's doing really well. I talked to him. I think he's going to start posting on YouTube more. He hasn't been posting just a whole lot. Do we eat organ meat? I'm not against it.
I mean, depends. Are we on the Oregon Trail? Because
that was a lame dad joke.
When you're on the Oregon Trail, you got to eat whatever's available. You're going to get dysentery and die.
Nourishing Traditions has a lot about that. It's not something that we have done a lot of, but I am not opposed to it. Get any more roses to plant. Aaron, I'm trying to rein it in on the roses. I was talking to my friend Matthew, and he
doesn't seem to be much of a help there.
He actually was the one who sent me my first David Austin roses, and I got really hooked on him.
Did you feel guilty?
And so then we were talking about like camera stuff, and I was like, listen, we're talking about like mirrorless cameras, and I was like, I'm not switching to that because I have a tendency to dive in on the deep end. He goes, oh yeah, I'm remembering the roses. So I was like, hey, don't bust me out. You're the one who got me started on that. Lauren said liver pate was surprisingly really yummy and easy to eat. I've heard a lot of things about like Nourishing Traditions. If you ever get that cookbook, they talk a lot about that.
I don't know.
Hideaway, we are finding that the freeze dryer uses a lot of electricity. So we got the freeze dryer and the freezer we started using real regularly around the same time because it was unhooked for a long time because it had to be repaired. And our electric bill was significantly higher this month. It was also the electric bill for August, which is the hottest month as far as the air conditioning running.
It's true.
So we'll just see. But our electric bill this month was almost as much as our mortgage. I will say our mortgage is really low. We had a foreclosure. So as far as mortgages go, we didn't have like $1,000 electric bill, but it was more expensive than it usually is by the tune of a couple $100s.
So honestly, like we may do some more freeze drying, but then since the harvest is waning, we may taper off some.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to freeze dry all the things, so we'll just have to see.
Freeze drying all the things.
All the things. Stop. Yeah, we've talked about doing solar. I just don't know if we're going to do that. So
I don't think it's.
My first zinnias ever just bloomed 3 days ago. I'm so glad to hear that. That is so awesome. Would you be able to explain what the texture of freeze-dried stuff tastes like? Judy, have you ever had astronaut food? Did you ever go
snacks.
Or baby snacks? Yeah, a lot of that stuff is
freeze-dried.
It's just really crunchy. You know how dehydrated food sometimes.
That's done running. We could go down and get some snacky snacks.
I don't think it is, because when I went out there to shoot that vlog, it said I had 2 hours and 50 minutes left, and I was thinking it would be done about the time this was over.
It's done now.
You're welcome to go look if you want to.
The bananas were so good.
So we freeze-dried some snacks this time. What can you not freeze-dry? Honey, jam,
cowboy candy.
Things that have a really high sugar content because water binds to sugar. What else? I think that was it. Honey, jam. Oh, things that are really high in oil, like bacon or oils. You can't do that. Thank you so much, Chicken and Biscuits. We appreciate that. I'm so glad to hear it. Yolanda said hockey is best live.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah, there are some things like that, things that have a really high fat content or really high sugar content. Now you can do candy, which I don't really understand why you can do Skittles. Oh, instead of sugar or jam. It's not liquidy. Mm-hmm. Okay. Hey, the honey stud. So those are the things you can't do. Other than that, you can do anything else. And right now we just did a round of snacks, and we did this next round that is going in tonight. We've been running it constantly. Is berries, tomatoes, just fresh fruits. And then I would really like to do some milk. And we're right now we're not milking. We have one goat that's in milk. We don't have a lot of excess milk. But even if I just got some from the store to be able to dry and powder, I think that would be really cool. What are your future chicken breeding plans, Lydia? I don't have a lot of chicken breeding. I don't have a lot of plans on that. I'm not looking to get into breeding certain breeds or anything. But I do have a good incubator. And so I'll
Stivers.
Hey, Stivers, what is that?
I was beginning to wonder. I thought maybe they had disowned us.
Whatever. We love you guys.
News to Zach and Jen.
We love you guys. How's your fall garden doing? It's going good. I killed some of my seedlings by neglect, and so restarting some of those. I'm going to direct sow some things back in the greenhouse. Have you ever dealt with Merrick's disease? We have not. Thankfully, that's not something that we've dealt with. Do you plant turnips? I absolutely do, Carol. I really like turnips. I really love rutabagas, which are similar to turnips. I planted a lot of those this year. Yes, Funny Cat, you can totally freeze dry soup. So this is one of the cool things you can do. If you have, I will talk about this. I'm so excited about freeze drying. So you have leftover soup, you can put it on a tray and freeze dry it. And then you can bag it in individual packages and just add some hot water to it and stir it up. And then you have it's just as good as it was.
We are not going to sell seeds right now. That's not on the radar. We have some things, like I said, we have a plan between now and the end of the year. First, I think we need to do a real in-depth vision casting. Keep talking about this. Yes. The Lord keeps talking to us about it.
Hey, Toasted Rabbit.
So we're going to talk to you about it, because we got to where we're at because 5 years ago we cast a vision and then did the work to see it through. So now, honestly, we were finding old journals and all these lists of impossible things are all almost done. And so now we make a new list and a new vision, and it's grand. And you guys are going to be
so we're going to do that. We have some different things we're launching this year.
In that, we're going to launch some things to help see that vision come back. That's what we're feel led to do. We're going to do some things. But seed company, that's probably going to be on the vision. I don't think that's going to happen for a while.
Yeah.
Let me just explain. We just launched a little bit, just a little sticker company, just a small little sticker company, and that was a heck of a lot of work. I have no idea. You're hey, you launch a seed company? Yeah, not yet.
Yeah, we dipped our toe in the water with the sticker business.
And I'm learning. It's good. I'm learning. But
for those of you,
company, germination testing, packaging, finding people, because you can't even grow the seeds yourselves. You have to secure other people to help grow the seeds.
And we have people that we're connected to that are doing that well. Emma Gardner is doing a great job. Baker Creek is doing a great job. botanical interest, great job. Like there are all these places, hostels, you can go get seeds from great places. And so for us, it's kind of like we'll support them and what they're doing, and we're going to do what we're doing. We launched our sticker business this last week. Actually, we shared it for the first time
on a vlog just the other day. I thought we had shared it before that, but apparently we had not.
We did on the live last week.
No. I thought we had shared it on a vlog before that we were going to do that.
I know a lot of people are surprised. A lot of people don't watch our lives. You guys are the real MVPs.
I mean, honestly, you guys get insider information about all kinds of
stuff. I know.
Stuff.
We talked about it on the live, and so many people are like, I had no idea you were doing this. And I'm like, okay, well, all right, well. Here it is. It's what we did. So the shop is at rootsandrefuge.com/shop. North Star Prep Starter just shared the link. And we launched our stickers this week, and we've gotten a beautiful response. We're so excited. Many of you will be getting your orders in the next couple of days. Some of them have already started to arrive. And it's just really cool. It's really cool to have something to do, but working out the logistics of this has made us realize like we have so much to learn.
Okay, then we're
learning. That's what we're doing. We're turning, like, we have a big vision, and we're turning this waiting room into a classroom
for the next phase.
And and I mean, sometimes this classroom that
you're in your waiting room for the classroom, and you'll get there. You'll literally achieve all of those goals, and then you'll have to set up another set of goals and go back to the classroom again. Like my kids are like, so when are we done with school? And I'm like, never. They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, you in your life are never done.
Yeah, we're like, don't want to be. Like, you shouldn't want to be done with learning. I hope that you're still learning things whenever you're, in your 80s. I love, like, Nana, even here. She's 86, and she'll be like, oh, I didn't know this. And, I mean, wanting to learn new things. I hope that we never stop wanting to learn.
Okay, so also someone was asking a question about shirts. All right, so the new designs are going to run for the whole month of September. Now, what we did is we broke that into 2-week periods. So the first round of orders will print on the close of the 15th. So on the 15th, it closes. Those orders go out. Okay, then they're open for 2 more weeks. There's another round of 2 weeks being available. And at the end of September, they'll go off. Now, the other 3 shirt designs, Rise and Shine, Sow Kindness, and Garden Grow Wild, whatever that shirt's called. I forget what we called it. Those are actually just going to stay available, and they print every time that there's 12 orders, they print. So that's just how that has to work.
Somebody asked if we envision doing bulk orders of shirts from the supplier so we can sell them through our store. We talked about that. We're just not there yet. And right. I don't know. And right now, I mean, logistically, we hired Jeremiah's sister, Michaela. She's working for us to help run the store because we don't have the time to fill the orders and provide. Okay, let me answer this question.
But I did have to help validate some addresses, so I had to make some phone calls. That's why I called this sweet lady named Mary. And I said, hey, I'm just calling for Mary. And she's like, she kind of was just like, she didn't recognize the number, so she was like, yes, like, what about it? And I was like, hey, this is Jeremiah from Roots and Refuge. And she's like, no, it's not. I said, nope, really is. It's like, I only got the one employee, and she's filling orders, and so I've got to call validate these addresses for her. And she was like, I can't believe you're calling. And I'm like, well, we're running the store. Like, this is it.
It's small business, like it's
small
for real.
Business.
It's funny though, like I don't know, I kind of lost my train of thought. Like
I didn't mean to derail you.
It's very interesting to me because in starting this little business and doing the stickers, we're able to get product in your hands. But the thing is for us, and this is just something that you should know about us, and we talk about all these visions and stuff, like we really believe in doing things in excellence. Like we really believe that if you're going to steward something, like you're responsible for doing it well. And that's something that we're trying to do like on our farm. It breaks my heart because, you do face a lot of criticism being on a media platform. And people be like, you don't have grass growing in there. You don't have this and you don't have that. And people are so quick to point out the areas where it's not in excellence. And I'm like, ugh. I know, like, I understand that. We're trying to get it to a place of excellence. People ask, why don't we keep cows here? We couldn't do it excellently. Like, and by excellence, I mean, like, I want to know how the best way to do something is and do it that way. And so that's why we're doing the sticker business. And that's why we started with stickers, because we wanted to do that excellently and then move into something else.
So basically what you're saying is that if we want you to call us, we need to order stickers. Well, if you order stickers and your address is messed up, I might be the one calling you.
Can your stickers go in a car window? Yeah, they're vinyl. So this is a couple of them right here. So
And
they're on
we
my
actually
water bottle.
dumped water on one.
All of these actually. So these are ones that were bent, and so we put them in a damage because we don't want to send damage stickers to people, and so that's what I took. I took the damaged ones to not take stock that was sellable. But so I took these out to my car and I stuck them in the cup holder because I was going to put them on this water bottle. And one of my dear sweet sons, Asher, I have a diffuser in my car, an essential oil diffuser that goes in cup holder. And we were trying to put the water in there and he bumped me and I poured water all over these stickers before they were stuck. And I was like, oh man, I bet I just ruined these. And so I dried them off and I was like, well, I don't know. They feel okay. I put them on and that was a week ago. They're still looking good. They're still stuck. Didn't bother them at all to get doused with water. But here's one. The garden is wooing and I must go. Roots and Refuge Farm. Here's a tomato plant and a sunflower. So these are a few of the stickers that we have.
Yeah, I think we are going to do another farm tour soon. We really intend to make that a regular thing, but then we forget. So we probably should.
Colby, I didn't have a lot of corn this year. I only did the blue dwarf, and it was really small. Good night, Terry, City Girl, Country Heart.
Paula, Dominique, if you'll email me at Miah, M-I-A-H, at rootsandrefuge.com, that's our new email system, then I can refer you to Be Unlimited, who's actually in Northwest Arkansas. So that would be a good hookup for you guys.
I'm going to answer a question, then you can answer this one, but no, that's going to be a longer answer. Which type of rutabaga do you recommend? I did the Navone yellow and the purple top last year and really enjoyed both of those. I'm trying another variety this year. I can't think of what it's called off the top of my head, but I have actually not met a rutabaga I didn't like yet. I really loved the yellow ones. Miah, do you ever feel disappointed if your body can't do certain things? I remember watching a vlog that was just about you and you mentioned it. I live with chronic pain, but still trying my best. Maddie.
I do. Part of it's just getting older. I can't push my body as hard. I can't go without sleep as long. I have to fuel it with good stuff. If I eat bad food, I seriously will just cave. But then there's also the limitations of my leg and all that. But honestly, since really starting to take care of my body and fuel it properly and going to the chiropractor regularly to try and help with that, honestly, there's been a lot of improvement in that area. So my big thing for that is I don't really focus on, at least I try not to. I try not to make excuses for myself, not because of anyone else. Jessica, I'm sure would prefer that I don't push myself too hard, but I just try and not give it attention unless it really needs it, if that makes sense. So for my leg, the biggest issue is one, I guess I didn't really tell anyone this, but I had my first MRI. The last one was 5 years ago, and I just had one a month ago, and to check to see if the tumor was coming back, and it's not.
A lot of people don't know this. We get asked, a few times a day, why you wear that black sleeve on your leg. But Jeremiah had extensive tumors in his left leg in his early 20s. That's why he's medically retired out of the Marine
So
Corps.
I went to the chiropractor to get to get my assessment, and I actually carry 18 pounds of weight on my right side, more weight on my right side, which is mostly because of my leg. My thigh muscle.
His left leg, his thigh, it's actually smaller than mine. You can't see that, but he's missing a tremendous amount of the muscle mass.
Well, that causes a lot of inflammation issues down in my calf, so below my kneecap where the surgery was. And so that's why I wear the black sleeve right now, is because it kind of helps keep the inflammation out of my lower extremity, which then also makes me deal with less pain and irritation, things like that. And so it's not a fashion statement. It's for a medical pain reason. But no, I've basically just... It's a balance, because you need to give it enough attention that you're taking care of yourself. But honestly, the best things you can do is work out, stay active, eat healthy, drink lots of water, get good sleep.
Gould's Gaining Ground said, has growing your own food helped? I think, like, personally, because I met Jeremiah after he'd gone through that. Like, we've been together for 10 years now, over 10 years now, almost. We've been married almost 10 years now. But you didn't have a super active lifestyle when I met you.
No, not by the time I met you, no.
Yeah.
I was active before I got real inactive after the surgeries. That's when I honestly, that caused some back pain. I've had a back surgery too. It's one of the things they're trying to help fix through going through regular chiropractic appointments. But that caused a bunch of stuff, and I just, sat in front of a TV or a computer screen for years because I just was depressed and couldn't do anything and felt like, well, this is it. Like, I used to be a basketball player, like as skinny and as active as you could be, and everything changed, and I just gave up for a while. Really.
He's really active now. I think that's, like, as far as your pain level goes, I think probably, like, he lives with a certain level of pain, like, all the time. But he, now we use a lot of, like, essential oils and, like, natural remedies for pain relief, and then also just eating healthy and staying active, because there really is a direct link for him personally as far as, like, really taking care of his body to the top tier and in the quality of life that he's going to have. And I think it's kind of a blessing whenever you have that, because if you fuel your body with junk and you don't use it, eventually that's going to catch up to you. And so having a situation where you have, like, this meter every day that reminds you, if you're not taking care of yourself well, it's almost like, oh, hey, well, this is going to make, I think that his life will be longer overall because of that. So, questions. The Naked Gardeners, how are you guys doing? What is your favorite book to read?
Have I always had long hair? No. I used to when I got.
There's some books. I haven't even unpacked a fraction of them. I have a lot of books. I don't think I can choose.
And that's not even the shelves that are back built.
Yeah.
We built a special set of shelves that we did a
Just
video
for the
about
cookbooks.
just for cookbooks.
I love to read.
No, when Jessica met me, I was still keeping a medium fade, Marine Corps medium fade.
High and tight.
Well, high and tight is like high. Like, I was medium, so I was like halfway between. But yeah, similar.
He started growing his hair out when we moved out here to the farm.
Yep. Grew some facial hair first. Hide this ugly mug.
Diana, natural things that can possibly relieve pain. Copaiba supplements. That's something that we use. And then we use a oil that has, like, helichrysum and wintergreen. It's called Deep Blue. They make a rub. doTERRA makes it, that we use a lot. That's a big thing that we use a lot. So It's helped him a lot. He uses it probably about every day.
Pounding water, like
staying very hydrated.
I just chug quart jars of water.
Not eating a lot of inflammatory type foods, like not eating a ton of sugar,
Stop drinking soda.
Yeah, we haven't done that in a long time. Or energy drinks. A lot of that stuff that
what sugar I do drink or consume is usually unprocessed, like real maple syrup or real honey. I don't really consume processed sugars anymore.
Do you ever wrap limbs in comfrey? No, but I am intrigued. Now, we do a comfrey salve that I purchased off Amazon, and it is miraculous. Seriously, comfrey salve, if you have, like, any sort of injury to bones or even muscle injuries, it is such a massive... maybe somebody can put it... It's... Lauren, what is it called? The comfrey salve? It's got a man's face on it. I can't remember what it's called, but it's amazing. And we use that a lot for pain. Amy said I improved you.
Amy, you're a little biased in your opinion. Just saying.
So
I think Jessica saw in and saw the diamond.
We actually were talking about this recently, and Jeremiah was like, because when we met, I was a single mom. I was a substitute teacher. I was living with my mother. I made next to nothing, like, money-wise. I made, I don't know, like $9
I was taking care of you.
Yeah, like, very quickly into our relationship, like, he started helping taking care of me and my kids.
Talk about an investment that paid off.
And he literally the other day, he was like, you were a great investment. That was so funny.
He birthed me many sons.
Dr. Christopher's Comfrey Ointment. Thank you, Lauren. That's it. Dr. Christopher's Comfrey Ointment. That should be in your holistic medicine cabinet, for real. We have been very good for each other. And honestly, to me, that's a testament of marrying the person that God leads you to. Like, we have been very good for each other.
Miah, would you recommend a chiropractor for your chronic back pain issues? Yes. Honestly, honestly, Jessica's had some serious positive responses.
I actually don't talk a whole lot about it, but I actually do have some health issues that I deal with, and
have had for,
and I've had for a really long time, and that
conventional medicine has not helped in any way.
And we've only been going to the chiropractor for about a month, and we've both seen marked improvement and health issues, as well as just overall wellness. The chiropractor we go to is in Conway. It's called Beard Family Chiropractic if you're local. And they're really amazing, very, very passionate about what they do. Like, you're not going to go in there and just get a random adjustment.
Yeah, so this, like, we went to this chiropractor place, and they're like, we don't do just adjustments. So you have to get completely assessed, go through their vision casting, get the x-rays, like figure out all the things that are going wrong with you, and then come up with a plan to get you better.
Yeah.
And then get into a plan. So that completely fits with what
how we do things,
how we want to do things.
So it's been really good for us. We've really appreciated it. So Enriched Refuge says chiropractic has saved my life many times over 45 years. It's just more along the lines of how I feel like healthcare should be, which is teaching people how to stay healthy rather than teaching people how to manage their sickness. So I really appreciate it. It's been very enlightening to me, and I've really enjoyed it. So, thank you, Aaron. Your channel is what I wish was on HGTV. I really appreciate that. Can you... oh goodness, Patricia, you just got to tear the Band-Aid off and can meat. You just got to do it. Do the pressure canning. I can chili with meat. Yes. I just searched it and got a recipe for pressure can chili with meat and just did it. It was such an amazing, I'm actually due to make more. And honestly, I took 3 pounds of hamburger meat, a whole bunch of dried beans, and tomatoes that we grew, and I spent an entire afternoon and I canned something like probably 40 pints of chili, and it lasted us for so long. And like, when, teenagers, we have Ben turn here, and so like when somebody's hungry and they need a meal, they can come and open one of those cans and heat it up, and they have a meal that's organic and real food and that doesn't have a bunch of preservatives in it that I made. And it's definitely worth it. It's like making convenience foods. Jack Wilkinson, where's the best place to buy our pressure canner? Honestly, right now, they're out of stock a lot of places. We have an all-American pressure canner. I've seen some people able to get some Presto ones. Somebody told me that Walmart had Presto canners, but I don't really know. Where do you get wood chips in Arkansas?
Searcy
has
City,
the municipal,
has a straight tree mulch place that you can go pick up for free. As long as it's
okay, working. Cool. The Rooted Wonders just shared a link. Mark Avery did a meat canning video. So Mark is a friend of mine, and he did a video about canning meat. He actually does a lot of canning and has a lot of information about that. So definitely check that video out. That was just linked. Let's see. Very interesting to try wild lettuce for pain. I actually found some. That's really interesting. Do all the seals fit the All-American pressure canners? Or do you have to get a specific one? The All-American pressure canner does not use a seal. It's metal on metal. And so you don't have to get like a rubber seal in that. And it's really good. I don't know. I know people have had their All-American pressure canners for 30 years. So they cost more for sure, but they're supposed to last a really long time. I might see if Nana will do a video with me this week. Maybe getting her cooking or something.
Well, also,
I haven't been pushing them to be on.
We actually have asked Nana to do the new B area mural And so this week I'm going to be setting up and painting that to get ready for her.
Some's white. I actually talked about goats in the vlog tomorrow. They're not all registered. I do not have all registered goats, but I have some registered goats. I usually find them online. Oh, well, let's wrap this up because it's almost time for us to get our kids in bed. Thank you guys for hanging out with us this evening.
I'm tired.
I'm really tired too. I don't know why I'm so tired.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for hanging
Thanks,
out with
guys.
us. We will see you next week.
We'll be back.
God bless you. Till next time.